Hey there, and welcome to the Do Life Big podcast. This podcast is going to be your jam if you want to live to your full potential and don't believe in half-assing anything in your life. If we want to do life big, that means we've got to get out of our own way because we only have this one shot to make it awesome. I'm your host, Kathy, and I'm a mom of three whose BFF is cold brew, a retired school teacher turned online entrepreneur, and an author. I'm loud, bold, and will always keep it real. I'm determined to live my best freaking life possible, and I'm here to help you do the same. I'll be packing this podcast with tips, motivation, inspiration, and strategies to finally get you where you want to go. And we will have a ton of laughter along the way because, let's be honest, we can't ever take ourselves too seriously, right? I'm so excited you are here with me today. Now let's get this party started. Hey, my friend, how's it going? I hope that you are doing awesome today. Welcome back to Do Life Big. I'm so glad that you're here. Today is going to be an awesome episode because I am actually just coming back from probably, most definitely, I would have to say, the best personal development, I would call it, event I've ever been to. If you're listening to this now, I just came back from Arizona. I went to a 3-day Empower Her event, it was called, and I was just surrounded by so many other entrepreneurs, podcasters, just people who just want to see growth in their life. They want to play all out. They really want to achieve and accomplish their best life possible. They want to feel fulfilled. You know, you just can't explain what it's like to get into a room and be surrounded by those kinds of people. I mean, it is everything. It is freaking everything. And I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit because, if you know me personally, I'm an outgoing person. I can laugh, I can talk, I can hang with anybody, I can have conversations. I appear like this super extrovert, like, oh, Kathy, this is so easy for her to be able to go to these events. But listen, I want to tell you that going to that event in Arizona that I just came back from was completely out of my comfort zone. I went to that event with close to 500 people, and I did not know a single solitary soul except for the host, which obviously doesn't count because she's going to be busy, right? Hosting the whole thing. And there was a part of me before I even decided to go to this event and get my ticket that was like, Kathy, don't go. That's way out of your comfort zone. You don't know anybody. You were just in Arizona. I had just been in Arizona, guys, the week prior for a leadership event for my health and fitness business. And all these excuses started to go through my head. Like, it's just more money. It's more time away now from the family. I haven't even adjusted back to the time difference from Florida and Arizona. You don't know anybody. That's just going to be really uncomfortable. And I sat there and I thought about all that. And I thought, that is ridiculous, right? I'm somebody who wants growth. And I know you are too. That's why you listen to this podcast, because we want to do life big, right? So we can't just live in our comfort zone. We have to push ourselves out of our comfort zone so that we are constantly growing and becoming a better version of ourselves. And so I said, screw it. I'm going to this event. I snagged the ticket and I am so glad that I did. For so long, I had been, I've been doing my health and fitness business, right, for 8.5 years. And on the outside looking in, it looked like, oh, I've got everything made, right? I've built a multiple 6-figure business. I'm home with the kids. We were able to move to our, beautiful home down in Florida from Massachusetts. Like, we're living the life that we're living now because of that one decision that I made to start that business 8.5 years ago. But a while ago, something inside of me just was telling me that, I just feel like you're meant for more. I just feel like you're meant to be making an impact doing something else. And I had kind of lost that spark a little bit. And I was so wrapped up in, is this going to mean I'm quitting what I'm doing? Because I am not a quitter. There is no quitting in my blood. But there's a big difference between quitting something because you don't believe in yourself and realizing that what you're doing is just not the path that you should be going on right now. And being okay with that and really accepting that, you know what? You can come out of that comfort zone, right, that you've been in, and you can shift and you can pivot and you can do that thing that has been on your heart, that's been in your gut, that instinct that you have. You know what I'm talking about, because we all have it, that feeling. And I'm so glad I did. That's when I decided to start this podcast. That's when I decided to create my Mindset Accelerator program and really start to work with people on their mindset. And so again, coming out of my comfort zone. Just another example of that. So I want to go back to that event this past weekend that I went to in Arizona. It was absolutely mind-blowing, the energy in that room for those 3 days. they had about 9 to 10 different presenters there. I'm talking like top of the line, incredibly inspiring, motivating, 7 to 8 figure income earning entrepreneurs. They all shared their stories, exactly where they started and where they are today. And I want to tell you something. A reoccurring theme with all of the presenters was that when they turned their beliefs around and they realigned them to what they wanted to accomplish, they then went on to succeed above and beyond what they ever thought was possible. It didn't matter how much debt they were in. It didn't matter whether they spent time in rehab. It didn't matter if people didn't believe in them. It didn't matter how many no's they got, for how many years they got no's. It didn't matter how many setbacks they had. They had that belief. They turned them around and they told themselves that they were going to succeed. And I saw myself in my own story with my health and fitness business in a lot of their stories that they were sharing, because when I had started my health and fitness business 8.5 years ago, I had all the odds against me too, right? I had a skeptical husband who didn't think it was going to work out. I was overweight and out of shape and thought, well, who is going to want to come to me for a source of inspiration when I don't even look like a health and fitness anything? I didn't know anything about entrepreneurship. I barely used social media, which I had to build my business on social media because I was a stay-at-home mom and still am. And I had all of these odds against me. And I could have very easily listened to all of those things and just given up on my dream. But you have to pour belief into yourself even before you have it. And I just remember literally walking around every single day and in my head chanting, I can, I will, I can, I will, I can, I will. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Like psyching myself up to just make it happen, not giving myself an out. So that way I would have no other way but to go on and achieve what I want to achieve and to have success. Like in my mind, because of that mentality, because of what I was telling myself, because of turning those thoughts around instead of being like, oh, this isn't going to work out because look at my husband doesn't believe in this. I said, I can, I will, I'm doing this. It's happening. Watch me. And I kind of just tricked my brain and put those thoughts into my brain. And all of these presenters at this event this past weekend did the exact same thing. They learned to turn their belief system around so that it aligned with what their intuition and what their gut instinct was telling them was possible for them. Guys, self-belief is a superpower. And once you start to believe in yourself, that's when the magic starts to happen. You see, once you get that belief in yourself and you learn to flip it around and get that self-belief, that is where the magic really starts to unfold for you in your life, in your business, and all other areas. And all of these presenters were all underestimated. And they became unstoppable because of their belief system that they had. Because at the end of the day, it's your belief system that will determine whether you make it happen or not. And once they all had clarity in who they were and where they were going, they became limitless, completely limitless and unstoppable, to the point where people who were actually telling them that they couldn't do it and that they didn't believe in them would come back to them now down the road and actually apologize and say to them, I made a mistake. I was wrong. You have to show up for your dream, and you have to show up all the way because no one else is going to do it for you. You can't look to anybody else in your life to give you that belief system that you need to be able to go out and make the changes in your life that you want to change, or to achieve the things that you want to achieve, or to build the kind of life that you want to build for you and your family. It has to come from within. It has to be your own self-belief. It's got to be your belief system. And so many of us are stuck in this negative belief system, and we're telling ourselves all these negative stories all day long and knocking ourselves down. And it's like, would you talk that way to a friend if they had an idea or a change that they wanted to make in their life? You know you wouldn't. But we do this to ourselves all the time, and we're just sabotaging ourselves. So we need to be really conscious and be aware of, all right, how can I be aware of this and make the change and flip my belief system around so that way I'm telling myself self-serving beliefs that are making me feel good, that are going to actually propel me to go in the right direction of where I want to go. So that way I'm not constantly just going through the life, going through the days on autopilot. The days are coming and going. The days are coming and going. You're not feeling fulfilled. You go to sleep every single night and you're thinking about the thing that you want to do that you haven't done yet, right? And you're talking yourself out of it. Stop talking yourself out of what you know deep down that you want to do. So, and this is why, honestly, I am so passionate about self-belief and your belief system and mindset, because I've seen it play out in my life. And I've seen it play out in so many other people's lives that I know and the students that I've worked with, that your belief system is everything. I wouldn't be here today recording this podcast if it weren't for my belief system. As a matter of fact, today when we were sitting in the car driving the kids to school, my husband and I was talking to him about how I really want to be speaking on stages, that I've felt this way now for probably a good 7, 8 years. And I just know that I'm meant to do that. I know that I'm meant to be on stage, impacting lives, pouring into people, hosting live events, whatever it may be. And I was telling him, hey, it's so crazy. I said, because, I was the girl growing up when I was younger in school who was afraid to raise her hand. I was the one who was afraid to raise their hand and give the answer because I didn't want people to look at me and think I was stupid if I got the answer wrong. I didn't want to get made fun of. I was so wrapped up in what everybody else thought about me that I didn't have the confidence and the belief in myself to just raise my hand and say the answer, even if I really knew the answer deep down. And even when I was in college, I'll never forget it. It was my freshman year in college, and I had to do this, everybody in the class had to do this huge presentation. We had to do this huge research project. It was a full-blown, I don't even remember what I researched. I think I was traumatized for life by this experience, apparently. Anyways, we had to stand up in front of the class and present it at this podium. It had to be like 45 minutes to 1 hour. And I was like freaking out because anytime I would speak in front of people, I would get so nervous that I would like break out in hives on my neck and my face would turn all red. And so I remember literally wearing like a turtleneck. I freaking hate turtlenecks. And I literally remember wearing a turtleneck that day, even though it was hot as hell. I still wore it because I did not want people to see me like getting all flustered and nervous doing this presentation in front of the class. And I went up there so freaked out and so worried. And how did I go from that and growing up to being that child, the shy, timid, too scared to kind of be me, scared to raise her hand, like, don't pick me, looking down at my desk, right? Not even wanting to do these presentations in college, to now someone who is hosting a podcast and saying that their dream is to really be speaking on stages to people and hosting live events for hundreds and hundreds of people. It's because my belief system. This is why I am so excited and passionate to help others, because I know that that is the key and that is the secret to transforming your life. But you got to be willing to acknowledge it and you have to be willing to work on it. And once you do, once you get this piece squared away, anything is possible for you. Nothing seems too far away. And the thing that you want to do, it's not a matter of you saying to yourself, oh, I don't know if it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen? Because now, because of that belief system that you now have the confidence in yourself. The good news is that maybe you're someone who's listening to this right now and you're like, I just don't have that belief in myself. I really want it. I really wish that I could be like you, Kathy. And guess what? You can. So don't beat yourself up about it. I can teach this to you. It's something that you can learn, but you got to be willing to show up and put in the work. It's just like anything else. This is something that you got to practice every single day. You got to make it a daily habit to be so aware of the thoughts going into your mind and be aware of the beliefs that you have about what you can and can't do. Believe in you, because your voice is important, because your dreams matter, because there is only one you, because you are worth it. You are so freaking worth it. And those ideas that you have and those things that you want to do were put on you for a reason. You were chosen to have those visions and those thoughts. And it's up to you now to go out there and to make it happen. I know that the self-belief is something that a lot of people struggle with, specifically because of that, because I want to help you. I really do. Like, this is my whole purpose, my whole mission is to be able to help people get that belief system squared away so that way you can go on to live the life that you want to live so that you don't have regrets, right? To help you have those breakthroughs, I put together a free live training that's going to be taking place next Thursday. So it will be November 3rd. And it's all about how to reignite your own self-belief. And the whole point of this training is so that way you can get re-inspired again, you can get your self-belief back, and then not just that, but it's going to get you to go out there and take action. Because it's all well and dandy if you sit here and just listen to this and then you go through the live training, that's great. But if you don't apply it to your life and then go out and take what you've learned and take action, nothing's going to change in your life. And you have to practice this. And I'm telling you right now, you are going to see massive transformation in not only just your mindset, but in your business, in your life, in your relationships, in every area of your life, if you go through this and take that action that you need to take. And so you can go and you can get registered for this training. You can go to kathyreutertraining.com/reignite live. So it's KATHIREUTER training.com/reignite live. I will also have a link in the show notes, so you can go click on it there too. But go ahead in there, click the link, get registered. You can listen to it. It's kicking off next Thursday, November 3rd. And I know it's exactly what you need, but the changes that you want to see in your life, the changes that you're seeking out, it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's not that you need to get busy and start doing more work and work yourself to the bone and hustle, 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 hustle. It's we need to get your belief system squared away first so that everything else can fall into place and you can live a life where you're happy and that you're proud of and where you really feel like, man, I have no regrets. I am living life exactly the way that I want to live. The things that I want to happen, I go after them because I have belief in me and I have confidence and I know it's going to happen. And I love that. So go ahead, spread the word, click the link, get yourself registered. And I just cannot wait to do this live training with you next Thursday. I really appreciate you being here. You know I love you, and I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you the next time. Thanks so much for listening in. I really appreciate you choosing to spend your time here with me today. You totally rock. Hey, listen, if you loved today's episode, go ahead and tag me on social and go share this with a friend right now. Like, do it immediately before the day gets ahead of you and you totally forget. Couldn't be more pumped to be on this journey with you guys. Go make today awesome, and I will see you the next time.